So my first coach when I was a white belt, it's a black belt, was a guy named Chris Howder, one of the most abused, one of the Dirty Dozen, one of the first 12 Americans that got a black belt way back. And he was a black belt in the mid-90s. And is still teaching to this day. An amazing guy, understands the game very well, and explains it. And to me, a lot of people have very technical games of explaining, but they leave out conceptual. They don't always talk about the principles that matter and work, and this is gonna be a big piece. So, my guard works in keeping someone from passing in 3 main things. The first one is, if I have my guy coming in, and I have push pressures on him. If I have these push pressures on him, he can't pass unless he does what? He's got to take those push pressures off. So he takes those feet off, and I go here and I replace them. I come back, my feet go on. He takes those feet off, I get my feet back on. As long as those feet are on him, those push pressures, whether it's my feet, hands, knees, and keeping a barrier, there's no way for him to pass. It does not exist. We understand? So the very first thing I need to have a good guard is push pressures. The very first thing I need to have a good guard is push pressures. When I lose those push pressures, and I'm going to tell you right now, the #1 spot that the game falls apart is right here. So pay close attention. The #1 spot that the game falls apart is he takes away these push pressures and he starts to come forward. And then we start pushing with weaker push pressures. And we try and shove him all the way back down into our guard. Right? And what we didn't do was, right, at the beginning of every class, one thing that we always do is shrimp. But all of a sudden we start rolling and we go, that's my spot, you get off of it, I'll stay here. And everybody goes, oh man, I know it. So the first thing is, I need push pressures. When my push pressures fall apart, I need to move and make space. So first thing is I need
push pressure.
Second thing I need to do when they fall apart is I need to move, make space. So I'm here, he starts taking those knees off, he starts passing, I push with my hands, I shrimp, I reset, I get my push pressures again. Right, that could be to set up and come in and start attacking, but for right now we're just talking that conceptual. The third thing that I need is I need to be a ball. So if I play my guard and I go like this, I'm gonna have a horrible guard. But if I change that and I just do this, go ahead and pass. Right? And when it falls apart, I push, move, be a ball. So, first step,
Push pressure.
I need,
Push pressure.
Push pressure.
there we go, thank you. First thing I need is I need to use push pressures. If my push pressures fall apart, I need to move and make space. The third thing is I need to be a ball. That's your guard. Sounds simple. Where it falls apart the most is we stop moving when we get in trouble and we start pushing with our arms. And if my legs weren't doing it, my arms probably aren't.